So today we are going to now start unit 3. We will continue further same AI technique we are discussing. In unit 2 we have discussed blind search techniques, uninformed search techniques, and in unit 3 uh, again we will continue further, but out here we will discuss heuristic search techniques. So unit 3, that basically it will deal with informed search techniques. Okay, so in this unit 3 today we will be discussing basic and very fundamental important search technique, which is informed search technique called as hill climbing search technique. But before discussing this hill climbing search technique, we must understand what is the difference between blind search techniques and informed search techniques. So first we will discuss that part, and then we will find out how this hill climbing search works. So am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
PPTs are visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we will start with what are heuristic search algorithms. And to understand heuristic search algorithm, we must understand what are heuristic functions, because we are going to use heuristic functions for designing heuristic search algorithms. Then we will discuss basic hill climbing search algorithm, one of the base algorithm on which many of the other algorithms are based, informed algorithms are based. And then we will extend this hill climbing algorithm uh, called as steepest ascent hill climbing search algorithm. And finally, we will analyze this hill climbing search algorithm. Okay. So we will start with what are these heuristic search algorithms. So since this name heuristic, what the heuristic is? Heuristic is a basically rule of thumb. As I told you that it's a rule of thumb. So what is a rule of thumb? A technique, rule of thumb is a technique. You will find out most of the time it is successful, sometimes it may fail also. So sometimes in our real life discussion we call it a guess. Sometimes we guess. So for this rule of thumb, for guessing something also lot of intelligence is required. So if you use this heuristic, that means a rule of thumb, and or what we have written here, it's a rule or device that is often effective. That means most of the time, as I told you, it is successful, but will not guarantee to work in every case. Sometimes it may fail also. So now that is what heuristic is. So we are going to use this heuristic for implementing heuristic search. So heuristic is a rule of thumb, and if you use that in performing search, then we call that as heuristic search. So that refers to a search strategy that will attempt to optimize problem by iteratively improving the solution. So you are going to use this rule of thumb to improve your solution iteratively based on some function or cost measure. Heuristic function may be your cost measure. I will tell you how. And classic example of applying heuristic search is, for example, traveling salesman problem, TSP, which we have discussed in our second unit. So as I said, that iteratively you are going to apply heuristic function or some cost measure. So basically cost measure means whenever we are going to work on state space will contain nodes. For example, if this is one of the node and suppose it happened to be a starting node S0. So assigning heuristic with a node means assigning a value with this node S0. Suppose by using some function value assigned to this state S0 is that happen to be 17. Some heuristic function is used and that has returned the value 17. So what we say? We say that 17 is the cost associated with this node S0. Right. So what is meaning of this? Since I say that it's a cost, what is this 17? 17 is a cost. So every node in heuristic search algorithms will have some value associated with them, and that value we call that as a value returned by heuristic function. Sometimes we may call it cost. So when I say cost, so cost has to be maximum or minimum? Yes. If we say that cost associated with this node S0 is 17, so this cost should be max value or minimum value, higher value or less value. Yes.
Less value.
Pardon?
Minimum. Minimum.
Minimum. Correct. Very much correct. Since it's a cost, always we expect that cost should be less. So this value has to be minimum if it's a cost, right? So we expect that this cost should be minimum cost if that value is a cost. Not necessary that always it will be a cost, right? That depends upon the problem for which you are carrying out the search or your domain. But at this point, what we will have to understood, we will say that every node will be associated with a cost, and that cost will be returned by heuristic function, cost or some number. For example, suppose part of your search space is something like this. In heuristic search algorithms, you will find out these nodes are associated with some cost. For example, if this is node S0, this is node A, node B, C, D, E and F. And since we are discussing heuristic search algorithm, then these nodes, they will have some values associated with them. For example, node A may have value 10, 13 with node B, 7 with node C, 10 with D, 9 with E and 8 with F, suppose. Just for an example. What is meaning of this? Cost associated with node A is 10. How this cost has been calculated? That cost has been calculated by using heuristic function. And what is heuristic function? Heuristic function uh, will be a mathematical function or strategy or rule that will give you an idea or that will return some value, and that value may be a cost, and that will tell me that how far goal node is from that particular current node. So for a given problem, suppose heuristic function, some heuristic function Hn is used, we will call that heuristic function as Hn, where H stands for heuristic function and N is for node. right? So when I say that h of a, what is meaning of this? That heuristic function h is applied on node A. So this cost is value returned by this HA is 10. Don't worry about what is this HA. Later on we are going to discuss what function we will have to use. That is problem dependent. So similarly, in this case now, what is HB? Yes,
13.
13. Correct. Cost associated with node B is 13. And what is HC?
7.
7.
7.
7.
Correct. HC is 7 and so on. So in this way, you will find out that nodes, they have cost associated with them. These costs are values returned by heuristic function, and heuristic function is problem dependent. That tells you how far your goal node is from the current node. So therefore, now value associated with this node A is 10. So that tells us that uh, goal node, some goal node, for example, G is a goal, that is unit 10 away from this node A, or cost required to reach to goal node G is 10. Cost required to reach to goal node G from node B is 13. From node B, there are three paths. Either you can go through D, E or F. If you go through D, cost required to reach to the goal node is 10. If you go through E, cost required is 9. If you go through F, cost required is 8. Right? So you will find out in this heuristic search algorithms, we will have a search space like that of blind search algorithms, but in addition to that, you are going to use heuristic function for the given problem, and that function will return values. That function you will have to apply with every node, and that function will return some value. Function always returns a value, and that value is a cost associated with that node most of the time. So that cost will tell you how far your goal node is, or how much efforts is required to reach to the goal node from that node, current node. So h of e is 9. In this case, h of e is 9. So meaning of this, to reach to the goal node G from node E, cost required is 9. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So let us move further. Now, as I said, this heuristic is a technique to solve a problem faster. Why we use heuristic? Because heuristic will help you to solve the problem faster than classical methods. What are classical methods? Classical method means uninformed techniques. Classical methods means classical methods are blind techniques. So, if you solve same problem with classical methods like blind search techniques, that will take very large time, more time, and practically it may not be possible for you to use that particular solution. If you want faster solution, then such algorithms are used. We will see the situation, what is meaning of such a situation, or to find out approximate solution when classical methods cannot. So sometimes you will find out classical methods they fail. So you may not be interested in best one, but approximate solution is acceptable. In that case we use heuristic search techniques. So we say that it's a kind of shortcut, as we often trade one of the optimality. Optimality is one of the parameter along with which we analyze algorithms. These algorithms, completeness, accuracy, and precision. So what is meaning of this? We use heuristic function in heuristic search algorithms for solving problems faster. So of course this is with a cost. When we are solving problems faster, so we will be compromising that. That's why we are saying we often trade optimality. What is optimality? Optimality of a search algorithm. Optimality refers to, yes,
Feasibility.
means least cost solution. Whether algorithm will return you the least cost solution. Uh, Completeness refers to whether algorithm give you a guarantee that always it will return you the solution if it exists, right? Then accuracy we know, and precision for speed. So what is meaning of this? When we use heuristic search algorithm, often we compromise in terms of optimality, completeness, and speed. So because of heuristic function, you get solution faster, and getting solution faster, that may you may find out you may not get optimal solution, uh, or sometimes you may compromise in completeness of the algorithm. So as we will proceed further, we will discuss this in more detail. Now heuristic takes to look at each branching step and evaluates the available information and makes a decision on which branch to follow. So again, come to the same example here. This was node A. What was the cost associated with node A? Or we can assign some other cost also. Suppose cost associated with node A is 14. Huh? So what heuristic does? A heuristic takes look at each branching step. For example, if you are at node S0, so how many branches are there at S0? How many rules can be applied on the state S0?
2 rules.
Right, 2 rules. If you apply, for example, you get node A, state A, applying rule 1, and if you apply rule 2, you get node B, suppose, or state B. So here there are 2 branches. What is meaning of this? From S0 you can go to A or B, or in other words I can say from if current state is S0, I can apply rule number 1. If I apply rule 1, I get state A. If I apply rule 2, I get state B. So it's now up to me whether to use rule number 1 or 2. Some of you may say I will use rule 1. Some of you will say I will use rule number 2. So which rule you are going to choose? Suppose I ask you that you have to make a decision. Which rule you will be selecting, R1 or R2?
Left.
R2.
R2. Any other answer? Who said R2?
Rajeshri Mahal.
Who told me R2 answer?
Rajeshri.
Rajashree. Why R2?
Minimum cost, sir.
Right. Correct. So most of you will select rule R2. Reason is cost are associated with the nodes, and if you see the cost associated with second node is if you apply rule R2, what is the cost associated with that?
13.
13. And if you select rule 1, what is the cost?
14.
14. So 13 is better, because what cost tells us? Cost tells us the efforts that I need to reach to the goal node G. So always we need to put less efforts, cost should be less. That's why what we are going to do, we are going to select, most of us will select this rule 2, and because of that, if you select rule 2, that will give you which node? Node B. So you will get node B. So now your state space tree will look like this. This is your S0. Now you have selected rule R2. So you will get node B. Cost associated B with node B is 13. So that means if my current state is node B, then efforts required are 13. Now I have to make a decision again. If current node is B, then how many rules I can apply? Suppose in the given situation there are 3 rules. If you select one rule, you get node D. If you select another rule, you get node E. And third possibility is also there. From node B, you can go to F. So either of this will reach you to the goal node. But which one you are going to select from node B?
Node F.
Node F. Most of you will be selecting node F. What is the reason? Reason is cost associated with F is 8. So naturally, to reach to the goal faster, you are going to uh, select a node having the least cost. And how this cost has been calculated? By using some heuristic function. And that's what here we are saying, that heuristic takes a look at each branching step and evaluates the available information, makes a decision on which branch to follow. So how we have made decision? Based on the cost. It does so by ranking the alternatives. So how we have ranked this alternative at node B? First priority will be given to F, then E, then D, because cost associated with F is least, and then E, that is 9, and then D, that is 10. So ranking can be done, and if there is a problem later on, you find out that after node F suddenly the cost has increased, that is also possible, then you may find out some other alternative. So that is what heuristic function is, and how heuristic search algorithm, most of the algorithms, they function. Okay. Now let us find out what are the characteristics of heuristic search. From this, now we have understood how heuristic search works. So you will find out that heuristics are knowledge about the domain. Domain means what? Domain defines the problem for which you are applying the search. So I must have knowledge about the domain, that means the problem in question, so that I can use that knowledge for making my search more intelligent. So that will help me to search and reasoning its domain. This heuristic search incorporates domain knowledge to improve the efficiency over blind search. So just now we have seen that domain knowledge is used while defining heuristic function, so which has returned the value, and Had it been the case of blind search, we would have moved blindly. If it's a breadth first search along with the breadth, if it's a depth first search along with the depth. But instead of that, intelligently we are using knowledge to carry out the search. Then we saw that heuristic is a function. When it is applied to a state, it returns the estimated merit of state with respect to the goal. What is meaning of this? It returns the estimated merit of state. That means that will tell you that uh, how far your goal node is from the current state, right? If you select that particular node. So again, now there are certain important uh, parameters associated with the heuristic function or heuristic that we have used. That heuristic might be underestimate, this is very important, or it might be overestimate the merit of the state with respect to the goal. Now let us understand what is meaning of this. Okay, this heuristic might be underestimate. What is meaning of underestimating? For example, now let us come to the search tree again. This is current state. Current state is A, and suppose one of the branch from node A is node B. Another option is there from node A. Suppose that is node C. And suppose there are cost some heuristic function is used, and that function has returned the value associated with node B, that is suppose 10, and cost associated with node C is suppose 12. Now this might be underestimate. As the name suggests, now this cost is a guess, or this cost is a heuristic. What is meaning of this? That actual cost to reach to the goal from node B may not be exactly 10. Cost to reach to the goal node G from node B might be higher than 10. For example, instead of 10 it may be 11 or 12, or it may be less than 10, that is it may be 8, or sometimes it may be 9, right? Because it's an approximate cost. We cannot make out in advance. You are at node B. So at node B you have to estimate how far your goal node G is. So estimate we have to make. So basically this 10 is estimate, right? Some function you have used, and that function tells you how far your goal node is. Since it's an estimate, therefore this cost uh, may be higher than the actual cost, or it may be less than the actual cost. If it is less than the actual cost may be suppose 11 or 12, or another possibility is it may be higher than the actual value. Actual cost may be 8 or 9 or even less than that, but you have estimated it 10, right? Two possibilities are there. So can you make out now what is underestimate?
Yes, sir.
Heuristic might be underestimate for the merit of state with respect to the goal. Yes, anybody? You have estimated cost is 10, but actual cost may be less than that or more than that. How that is related with underestimate?
If it is less
Less
than 10, then
than
underestimate.
estimate.
Okay, if it is less than 10, then this is underestimate. So that means if it is greater than 10, that means it's overestimate, right?
Yes, sir.
Any other answer? Any other answer?
If greater than 10, then underestimate.
If it is greater than 10, then it is underestimate. Ideally, you want exact value, right? Your estimate should closely match with the actual value. But if it is greater than the actual value, that means it is, yes, if it is greater than the actual value, suppose actual value is 8, right? I know that actual value is 8. Afterwards, I come to know that actual value is 8, but we have estimated 10. So, is it,
Overestimated.
yes,
Overestimated.
that value is
Un-
overestimated. Actual value is 8, but your estimate is 10. So this is overestimate. Your value is more, right? In this case, suppose actual value is 8 and estimate is 10. So which is greater than, this 10 is greater than 8. 8 is the actual value. So your estimated value is greater. That means you are overestimating, right? Understood?
Yes, sir.
And if it is less, for example, actual value is 12, later on we come to know, but your estimate was 10. So what we did, actual value was more, but our estimate guess was lesser value. So what is this now? This is
Underestimate.
underestimate. Actual value is more, but estimated value is less. Now why this is important? I think this is clear now. So heuristic might be underestimate or overestimate. Now that have an effect on execution of the algorithm. Heuristic that underestimate are desirable. So generally, uh, you select heuristic function in such a way that it may underestimate, but it should not overestimate. There is a very good reason for this. You think on this today. That is for the homework. And underestimated heuristics are admissible heuristic. This is very important. Remember this. Heuristic that underestimate are desirable. That means actual value is 12, but your estimated value is less than that. So what we have done, underestimated. So that will be associated with every node. In every node it will happen that actual value is greater, but your value will be lesser, little bit lesser, and that will be underestimate, and this is desirable because that will lead to admissible heuristic. We call that as admissible heuristic. Now why this is important? That is the question, and you think answer for this question at home. Hint I give you right now. If heuristic is overestimate, we will contradict first. We will understand that by contradiction. If it's overestimate, what will happen? What is the possibility? If suppose overestimated values are used, Now in this case, suppose actual value is 12, but your value returned by heuristic function is 10. We will change this situation to understand that. Okay. Suppose cost associated with B is uh, 13 and cost associated with C is suppose 14. Now what will happen? Actual value is suppose 12, but your estimated value is 13 with node B. So is it overestimate or underestimate?
Overestimate.
Overestimate.
It is overestimate, correct, right? Uh, then will it lead to the solution, desired solution, optimal solution? Think that way.
No, sir.
Why?
Cost will increase.
So, or consider the situation little bit, we will change. Suppose those node C is there, right, and cost associated with this node C is suppose something different. Cost associated with that node C is uh, 12 suppose. Now what will happen because of this? Actual cost is 12 from node B, right? But you have overestimated it. The cost is 13. So what algorithm will do? Which node algorithm will select?
C. Node C.
Node C it will select, correct. But actual value associated with B is lesser than 13 value because you have overestimated it, right? 13 is a overestimated value, but cost to reach to node B is lesser than this value. But what your algorithm will do now, your algorithm will find out some other option. So it will select some other node because this cost is more, right? Cost associated with this B is higher. Therefore, algorithm will try to find out another node, and uh, algorithm will not ultimately select this node B. So if this is overestimate, in that case your algorithm may miss the actual better solution path, right? And because of that we say that this heuristic should not be overestimate, it should be underestimate. Had it been opposite case, had it been underestimated value, then it would have returned the appropriate solution. So you will have to explain it in proper way. But at this stage, you think on all this, you have understood the concept, but how to put it in words, you do that at home. That this heuristic, uh, which is underestimate, such a heuristics are desirable, and they are called as admissible heuristics. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Pardon? Any question? Okay. Then heuristic evaluation function, already we have discussed this, estimates likelihood of a given state leading to the goal state. So that value tells us, uh, give an idea that whether we should select that node or not. So how much likelihood is there from that state to reach to the goal state. So if that value is more, that means if it's a cost, and if that value is more, that means we should select some other path. If that value is lesser, that means that path is a desirable path, something like this. So this heuristic search function estimates the cost from current state to the goal state, pre-assuming the function is efficient. Right? Of course, now what is assumption out here? The function that we have used, that function is a efficient function. That means the guess that you are making, that should be a very good guess, because to make a guess intelligence is required, or to find out heuristic appropriate, unless and until I have appropriate heuristic function, that may not help me to reach to the goal faster. Okay, any question up to this? Any question up to this?
No, sir.
So shall we move to the next? Now let us find out what are these heuristic functions. For example, now we will consider the problem of 8 puzzle. Already we have discussed what this problem is. In 8 puzzle problem, there is a board on which there are 9 squares, and on this 9 square there are 8 tiles which are fixed in such a way that the adjacent tile to the empty square can be slide to that place, and you have given some initial state and you have to make some final state. Okay, something like this. There is a 8 puzzle board and 9 squares are there. On this 9 square there are 8 tiles. Suppose numbers are printed on this 8 tiles, so, something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and this square is empty. So you can slide tile which is adjacent to the empty square into that square. For example, I can slide this 3 to this square, or 1 to this square, or 7 to this square. Okay, so already we know this. Now the heuristic, for suppose we have to solve this problem, you have to write a computer program for finding out solution to this problem. Some initial state is given to you and you have to convert that into the final state. Now this problem generates a very large search space. How? Try to develop a search space for a puzzle problem. For example, initial state given is something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and final state, this is initial state S0, and some other final state is given to you. Suppose this is the final state that you will have to achieve: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. This is your goal state G. Now since this is the initial state, this will be your initial node. So let us generate the search space. 8 is left over, no? So this is 8, suppose. So how many rules you can apply from this current state? Tell me. If this is your current state, then from this current state, now you have to explore this state. So how many rules can be applied? 8 puzzle problem already we know.
3.
Correct. 3 rules can be applied. What are those? Either you can move this 3 here or 1 here or 8 here. So that will lead to 3 branches. Okay. So this is one of the state. Second possibility is this state. I will write the tiles also, their positions, and this is the third possibility. Suppose first we consider if I move this one here, so next state will be like this. This is one, other tiles they will be as it is, 7 to 5, 4, 1 already we have moved, so that will become empty, and 3 and 8. Second possibility is you can move 3 here, so that will lead to this 3 will be moved here, other tiles will be as it is, 7 to 5, 4, 1, 6, and this is 8. Third possibility is you can move this 8 to this place, so that will give you 8 here, and this pair will be empty, 7, 2, 5, 4, 1, 6, here 3. Right. So these are the 3 possible states. So from S0 you got, suppose I call this is S1, this is S2, and this is S3. Before this what we did, we used to draw our search space something like this. Okay. So circle denotes there the actual state. State space representation you will have to use. So this is equivalent to this if it's a 8 puzzle problem. Now suppose we have to use heuristic function for solving this problem, because this is a combinatorial problem. Now you can make out how many possible states are there from S1. From S1, uh, Nikita Pachpande, is she present? Nikita, Uddesh,
Yes, sir.
Uddesh Vani,
Yes,
Uddesh.
sir.
How many states are possible from S1? How many branches will be there from S1? Nahid, Nahid, Nahid Khan, is she present? Tejas, Tejas Mahajan, Pooja, Sari Pooja, she is present. Pooja, IT.
Yes, sir.
How many branches are possible from S1? How many rules you can apply from S1? What move you can make from S1? See, very simple. These are the puzzles. You have played that in your childhood. See here, from S1, now this middle square is empty. This one, either you can move this 2 here, or 4 here, or 1 here, or 6 here. So there are 4 possibilities. Either you can move tile 2, or tile 4, or tile 6, or tile 1. Hemangi Patil,
Yes, sir.
understood? Four possibilities are there. So therefore, from S1, there will be 4 branches. Okay? Then Mayuri Bule, Mayuri, from S2, how many possibilities are there? Sneha, Bitwe Sneha,
Yes, sir. Three.
how many possibilities are there from S2?
Two.
Right,
Sir, 2.
correct. You can either move this 4 here or 3 here. So there are
Three.
2 possibilities from S2. From S3, how many possibilities are there?
2.
Two. Two.
Correct. What are those? Either you can move this 6 here or
6.
8 here.
8.
8.
So here there are 2 possibilities. In this way, you will go on further. Okay. So it will be a very large search tree. And if this is the case, ultimately your search will stop when you are going to reach to this required goal state. So it will be a huge search tree. And instead of using blind search technique, if you use some heuristic intelligence, then that will give you the better efficient solution. So we are going to use now heuristic function on this 8 puzzle problem. So one of the heuristic function here we have written for 8 puzzle problem is counting number of misplaced tiles. Misplace, that means the tiles which are not at their position, desired position. Okay, this can be the heuristic that you can use to find out the next state. So let us come to the state S0. Now in S0 you count how many misplaced tiles are there, because that is the heuristic we are going to use. How many misplaced tiles are there? Let us count them. So we will do that. This 7 we want here. This is the goal state, but it is not at the desired position. So this is 1. Okay. This tile is misplaced because 7 should be here in goal state, but it is not there. So this is 1. Then 2, 2 is at the desired place. Okay. 2 should be here and it is at the same place. Sorry. 2 is at the desired place. What
Yes,
about
sir.
3? 3 should be here, and but you will find out it is out here, so it is misplaced. So this is second one. So one more misplaced tile. Then what is the next tile there?
5.
5.
Number of misplaced tiles you are counting. Sorry. Okay, or you can use this particular goal state. 1. Is it at the desired place?
No.
No.
1 is not at the desired place. So that is one misplaced tile. So this is that one. So this is that one, first one. 2, is it at the desired place? Yes.
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 What about 3? It is not. So this is second misplaced tile. What about 4? Is it at the desired place?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. So don't count. What about 5? Is it at desired place?
No.
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 Yes.
Okay. 5 should be here, but it is not there. It is out here in this corner. What about 6? Is it at the desired place? No. 6
No.
is,
No.
we want it here, but it is
No.
out here. So it is misplaced. Okay. 7. 7 is also
No.
misplaced.
Misplaced.
And 8. 8. Is it misplaced?
Desired place. No, sir.
No. 8 is not misplaced because it is at the same place where we want. It is here. So how many misplaced tiles are there? Count this. This is equal to
5, sir.
5. So number of misplaced tiles are 5. So therefore cost associated with H0 is 5 by using that heuristic function. Okay. Understood?
Yes, sir.
What is the heuristic function? You count number of misplaced tiles. Simplest one. So number of misplaced tiles are 5. Now associate cost, same function, execute it on state S1. How many misplaced tiles are there at S1? Count them. Uh, okay, you start with, again we will use this goals node. 1, is it at the desired place? 1,
No.
no. 2,
Yes.
Yes.
yes. 5,
No.
No.
no. 6,
No.
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 4,
Yes.
yes. 7,
No.
No.
8,
Yes.
yes. So total 4 misplaced tiles are there in this state S1. So cost associated with S1 is 4. Right. This is how the values are calculated by using heuristic functions. Here function is you count number of misplaced tiles. So ideally, what should be this number? This should be more or less. When you will reach to the goal node, what will be the value of that node?
Less.
Lesser value. Lesser value means better node. Okay. So when you will reach to the goal, what will be the cost associated with that node?
4.
Huh? How many misplaced tiles will be there when you are going to reach to the goal? 0.
0.
0. 0 is the correct answer. So once you reach to the goal, cost will be 0 because you are already at the goal node. What will be the cost associated with S3? Let us find it out. 7. Is it at the required position? No.
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 2,
Yes.
5.
No.
So count it. 4.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it at the proper place? So we should not count it, remove it. 6.
No.
So count it. 6. 7.
No.
No.
No. Count it. 8.
No.
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 Count it. So 5 misplaced tiles are there. So therefore cost associated with S3 is 5.
5.
Cost associated with S2 similarly. Anybody has calculated? Okay, we'll do that. 7. Is it at the place? Okay, start with 1. 1. Is it at the required place?
No.
No. 2.
No.
Yes.
Yes. 3.
No.
No.
Count. 4.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't count. 5.
No.
Count it. 6.
No.
Count
No.
it. 7.
No.
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 Count
No.
it. 8.
Yes.
Mm,
Yes.
Yes.
So how many uh, misplaced tiles are there? 5. So cost
5.
associated with S2 is 5.
5.
So what algorithm will do? Heuristic search algorithm will use this knowledge, this information to carry out the search. So which node it will select naturally?
सर
S1.
S1 साठी बी 5 जात ना सर कॉस्ट.
Is it 5? Okay, we
Yes
will
sir.
check it out.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 7. Start with 1. 1, is it misplaced? Yes. 2, no.
No.
3,
No.
Yes.
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 4,
No.
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 5,
Yes.
Yes.
5 is misplaced. 4 is not misplaced. 6
Yes.
misplaced.
Yes sir.
7,
Yes. Sir.
Yes.
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 okay, correct. You are right. So cost associated with S1 is also
5.
5.
5. Now by chance what has happened out here, all these costs are same. So any of the node will be selected. But had it been a situation something different, then we would have selected a node with least cost. So that information we would have used to carry out the search. Okay. Understood up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes sir.
Now this is example of heuristic, that is number of misplaced tiles. You can have some other heuristic also. For example, uh, have you heard of Manhattan distance? Anybody? Various distance criteria are there. One of the criteria is Manhattan distance. Anybody? Manhattan word, have you heard of this word? What is Manhattan? Actually, Manhattan is a city in United States where roads are at right angles to each other. All roads in that city, you will find out they are at right angle. Roads are straight and all of them are at right angles. Okay. Yes or no? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So
Yes sir.
Manhattan is a city where all roads are straight and they are at right angles. So in mathematics, you might have heard Manhattan distance. Basically, Manhattan distance is a distance between 2 points measured along at right angles in a plane. Suppose I draw a graph and there is a point P1 and point P2. So what is suppose the P1 coordinates are x1, y1, and P2 coordinates are of course x2, y2.
X2, Y2.
Uh, so take a projection of this, vertical projection and horizontal. Now, what is the Manhattan distance? It's a distance between 2 points measured along at right angles. So, distance between P1 and P2 actually is measured along right angles in this way. This distance and this distance. Okay. So, what is this distance? Total distance if you measure it along the right angle? Simple mathematics. म्हणजे this length of this line and length of this line. So this is x2 किंवा you can make it like this, x1 minus x2. This is x2, right, and this is x1. So x1 minus x2, and if I take absolute value plus this distance, this distance and this distance along with y,
Y1.
this is what?
Y1.
y1 minus
minus
y2.
Y2.
Take absolute value, or you can take y2 minus y1 or x2 minus x1. So if you add both of this length of this line and length of this line, x2 minus x1 and y2 minus y1, this distance is called as Manhattan distance. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Why this name is given, the reason is because in that Manhattan city, roads are at right angles always. So if you have to reach from this, suppose this is point P1 in that city and this is point P2. So directly you cannot go this way diagonally, you will have to go this way only. So distance will be this distance plus this distance. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
So this is one of the distance criteria. This is called as Manhattan distance. This is also called as, in some books you will find out, L1 distance. In machine learning you will study this again, L1 distance. Similarly, now you may say that this is one of the heuristic function you can use that matches out here exactly. Suppose you have to move this 7, not 7, find out some other tile. 4 is already there, 5 is already there, 7 we want where? Here. Consider state S1. You want this tile 7 out here, okay, because this is the desired place of 7. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So how many moves you will have to make to move this 7 from this square to this square? Here you will have to move. How many times that tile has to be moved? How many moves you will have to make? See here carefully. I will change the color. By that time you think of 7, you can move it to the right, one move, okay, then 7 will be here, then second, and then third, okay. 3 moves I have to make to move this 7 here. Horizontally 1 move, then vertically 2 moves. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is what Manhattan distance is. Horizontal moves are allowed only and vertical moves are allowed. So distance uh, between this original state of this 7 and desired state is 3. So Manhattan distance is 3 for this tile 7. Okay. And why only Manhattan? Because this 8 puzzle board is designed in such a way that either you can move horizontally or vertically. Can you move this tile 1 here directly in this square?
No.
No, sir.
We cannot move, right? Therefore, Manhattan distance criteria can be used. Another heuristic function can be used in this 8 puzzle problem. So instead of this misplaced tiles, somebody may say that I will use Manhattan distance criteria for solving this 8 puzzle problem on computer. How? Suppose let us elaborate that example. Initial state is given 9 squares, 8 tiles. This is initial state S0 and goal state is same. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. This is now suppose we use heuristic function. Hn uses Manhattan distance. This is the criteria used. Okay. So how to find out cost associated with a node? Now from S0, what we will do? We will find out cost associated with S0 only by using this criteria Manhattan distance. So we will start with this tile 1. Now tile 1 is here, you want it here. So how many moves you will have to make by using this criteria?
2.
2. Correct. This one you cannot move diagonally. Manhattan distance means either horizontally or vertically. So you will be moving this to the left and to the up. So 1, 2. Or another way is you move it up and to the left. So Manhattan distance is 2 for tile 1. For 2, 2 you want here, but it is here. So how many moves you will have to make by using this criteria?
2.
Correct. Either to the left and up or up and left. So 2. For tile 3, 1. Only one move is required. For tile 4,
0.
0. Tile 5,
2.
1, 2, 1, 2. So 2. Tile 6,
2.
right? Up. 2. Tile 7,
1.
1.
1 left move. And tile 8,
2.
2 again. So this is total is
12.
12. So Manhattan distance, if this function is used, heuristic function for state S0, the cost associated with S0 is now
12.
12. So what does this mean? Cost associated with S0 is 12. That means if this knowledge is used from this state S0 to reach to the goal state Z, the distance is cost is 12. That many moves you will have to make. Okay. So naturally you are going to select a node state after this H0 which is better. Better means which has less value. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is
Yes, sir.
how for different problem domains you will have to use your intelligence and define heuristic functions, and these functions you can use for uh, solving uh, inform such problems, and that will help you to reach to the goal node efficiently. So Manhattan distance mathematically, as I told you, this is equivalent to absolute value of x1 minus x2 plus absolute value of y1 minus y2. This is the mathematical equivalent of this Manhattan distance. Where what is x1? This is for point P1, coordinates are x1, y1, and location of point P2 is x2, y2. If you have to find out distance between P1 and P2 by using this criteria Manhattan distance, and whose coordinates are x1, y1 and x1, x2, y2, this is the formula. And by using this formula for this set S0, we have calculated Manhattan distance as 12. Any difficulty up to this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
So all of you understood?
Yes,
Kalpana
sir.
Jai, Kalpana,
Yes.
Kalpana, Kalpana, is she present? Kalpana, Vivek, Vivek, Khatod Vivek, विवेक कुठे आहे?
नाहीये सर तो.
ओके, मयुरी, गुले मयुरी, उज्ज्वल फेटारे, उज्ज्वल, उज्ज्वल, हर्षल,
Yes, sir.
any difficulty up to this?
No, sir.
Now what is expected from you? Given a problem, whatever problems we are discussing in literature of AI, you will have to think of what heuristic function you can apply, because you can have different heuristic functions. If your heuristic function is better, your algorithm will perform better than others. So very good heuristic function is expected. So you will have to think of, find out appropriate heuristic functions for a given problem. For example, a tic-tac-toe game. Think of what can be the heuristic function for you for solving tic-tac-toe problem. So let us now move further. For traveling salesman problem, TSP already we know. You can have a very simple heuristic, sum of the distance traveled so far. This can be one of the heuristic. Sum of the distance traveled so far. For example, you have started with city A and then you have visited city B. Distance between A and B is 21. Then your current city is city F. Distance between B and F is suppose 3. So distance traveled so far, sum of the distance traveled so far will be at node F What will be the cost? At node F, sum of the distance traveled, your starting point was A. So far is
24.
24.
right, 24.
24.
Correct. So this can be one of the criteria. You can use this for finding out the next node to be visited. Or another criteria you can have, that is nearest neighbor heuristic. What is that? Second heuristic, you can have nearest neighbor. For example, from A, now we have various options. Here there is a city G, here there is a city K, and distance between A and K is suppose 11, and distance between G and A is suppose 51. Right. So you have started from A. So if your heuristic function is nearest neighbor, which node, which city you are going to, as a salesman, you are going to visit next from A by using nearest neighbor?
K.
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 Which one is K? Right? Barobar. It's why? Because nearest neighbor, that means you have to find out the nearest city from city A. How many options are there? A to B is 21, A to G is 51, A to K is 11. So A to K is nearest. So next node visited will be node K. So that is nearest neighbor heuristic. Similarly, you can have tic-tac-toe game heuristic, that most wins, maximum wins that you will get from the current situation. That can be your heuristic function. You will have to think of this. What is meaning of this? I will not tell everything. You just put your head and think of what is meaning of this. Then chess. In game of chess, you can have heuristic, material advantage of our side over the opponent. Again, find out meaning of this. I will give a hint that when we play a game of chess, then alternatively that is played between the two players. So when I make a move, then I have everything in front of me. If I make that move, what will be my opponent? What are the possibilities that opponent might make a move? And what are the other, then what will be my next move? Then what are other possibilities that my opponent might make moves like that? So that I can make use of while making my current move. I can say that that is material advantage of our side over the opponent. That can be the heuristic for solving this uh, chess game. Okay. Similarly, for other problems, and for these problems also, if you can think of better heuristic functions. Okay. Understood now. In inform search algorithms, now we are going to make use of heuristic functions, and those functions will return some value. Now later on, we are not going to discuss uh, heuristic functions. We will assume that for a given problem, we have given appropriate heuristic function, and that function will return the appropriate value. But now we have understood how to define heuristic function and how to assign those values with the nodes. Now, to simplify our discussion, we will directly associate values with the nodes. Shall we move to the next topic? Understood up to
Yes,
this?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, okay. With this background, now we will move further. Now let us compare blind search techniques with heuristic search techniques. In blind search techniques like DFS, BFS, we saw we can only search what it has knowledge about. So blindly the search moves. But in heuristic search, estimates the distance to the goal node through the explored nodes, right? In blind search or brute force approach, they can only search what they have the knowledge. But in heuristic search, in addition to that, we are going to make use of heuristic functions to carry out the search. In blind search, we have no knowledge about how far the goal node is, or no knowledge about how far a node from the goal node. That means if you are at a particular node, for example, if this is the search part of the search space, and if I am here, if this is the current node, when I am here, our algorithm is at this particular node, algorithm doesn't know how far now algorithm is from the goal node. Or if you are carrying out the search, if this is the current node, then in blind search, brute force approaches, they are also called as brute force approach, we don't know how far I am from the goal node. In heuristic search, search guides towards the goal. How? By using the values associated with the node. So that helps us to reach to the goal node efficiently. In heuristic search, again, that prefer the nodes that lead close and not away from the goal node. That might not be the case in blind search. In blind search, since search moves blindly, for example, if you are using depth first search, and if suppose your goal is somewhere here, and you are using depth first search, this is part of the search space. Depth first search will move along with the depth of the search tree. We know that goal is here, but rather than if it would have moved this way, it would have reached to the goal faster. But since it moves blindly, since it's a blind search, it has to move in a particular fashion. That's not the case in heuristic search. In heuristic search, it would have moved to this node because there might be the case this node is nearer to the goal node. So cost associated with this node would have been lesser than this node. So we would have moved to this node. So if you follow that strategy, you are going to reach to the goal node faster. So that's how we can compare blind search techniques and heuristic search techniques. So again, now come to our previous classification diagram. Search techniques we had classified in two categories: uninformed search and informed search. This already we have discussed in our unit 1, right? This part. Now later units we will be discussing heuristic search techniques, where you are going to use heuristic function h. Hn means now h function applied on node n. So we are going to call them informed search techniques also, because they use information or knowledge to carry out the search, as we have seen. So various techniques we will be discussing in this unit, today we will be discussing hill climbing search, which is the foundation of many of the search algorithms in this category of search. Then variation of this algorithm is steepest ascent hill climbing search. Steepest ascent hill climbing search, right? And along with that we will be discussing best first search, modification over this hill climbing search, and then beam search and taboo search. So all this search, they are going to use some information knowledge to carry out the search. So if your search space is very large search space, infinite search space, then blind search techniques cannot be used practically. In that case, we will be using heuristic search techniques. Okay. Any difficulty up to this?
No, sir. No,
No,
sir.
sir.
So out here, in this unit 3, we will be discussing what is a heuristic function, hill climbing search, steepest ascent hill climbing, best first search, taboo search and beam search. All these are informed search category, informed search strategies. So let us move further. Now we will start with hill climbing search. Hill climbing search is a basic algorithm which is a variant of generate and test algorithm. Generate and test is a primary search algorithm which is not used practically, but its functioning might be useful to understand other algorithms. What is generate and test search algorithm? Simple algorithm which says that you start with a starting node, generate the next state, apply any rule which can be applied on H0. So that will generate new state, for example S1. Check, is it a goal? If no, you generate another state from S1, then that will generate some other state. Check, is it a goal? No, further explore it. It will generate another state until you reach to the goal node. Not good algorithm. Okay, but this is the basic algorithm, and hill climbing search is modification of the generate and test. Generate new state, check is it a goal? If no, generate another new state. In this way it moves. Hill climbing will make use of greedy approach. So this technique solves certain optimization problem, although it has certain set of problems with it, but for certain problems, optimization type of problems, you will find out hill climbing search is a better option. In hill climbing search, we start with a suboptimal solution, and solution is improved repeatedly until some condition is maximized. So that's why this can be used for solving optimization problem. We are not interested in the best one. We are interested in the acceptable solution. Okay. For such a situation, hill climbing search can be used. Now, what is this algorithm? The idea of starting with suboptimal solution is, okay, starting compared to the starting of base of the hill is improving the solution is compared to walking up the hill and finally maximizing some condition that is compared to reaching to the top of the hill. Because hill climbing, as the name suggests, what is your objective in hill climbing? To reach to the top of the hill. Okay, as the name suggests, whenever your suppose objective is to climb hill, so what is ultimate goal? To reach to the top of the hill. Okay, so that is equivalent to maximizing some condition. Okay, so you can convert that problem into maximization or minimization kind of problem, and thus you can solve optimization problem. That what means this meaning of this. So this is mainly used for solving computationally hard problems. Since it looks only at the current state and immediate future state, therefore complex problem situation is simplified out here, and hence the technique is memory efficient. Otherwise you may need to use lot of memory, but hill climbing search doesn't store all the nodes. It just looks the current immediate nodes, and therefore it need not have to maintain the search tree. This is one of the major attraction of this hill climbing search algorithm. Okay, so in simple words I will explain what is meaning of this. If suppose you are standing at some point, okay, suppose you are standing at some place and your goal is, this is the starting point, so I may call it S0, and you have to reach to some goal G. So ultimately you have to reach to this place. So visualize this as a hill climbing search problem, something like this. In real life, what we do, if I am standing here and if I don't have much knowledge about how I am going to reach to G, what I will do, I will look around and find out how many alternate paths I have. Out of these three, suppose I have three alternate paths. Out of these three, whatever I feel that which one is better, I will select that. So what I will do, uh, I will select the better one. I feel that suppose this is the better, I feel that this direction will lead to the goal destination much faster. So I have selected this. From this again, suppose there is a divergent. Okay, then again decision has to be made. You are here now. So what you are going to do, you are going to select one of this. Suppose you find out that this is one of the alternative and you feel that this is better than this one. Rather than going back, this is better. So what you are going to do, you are going to select this path and you are going to move further. Again, if suppose there are, you find out that this is better than current path. So you are going to select this and ultimately you will reach to the goal. Ultimately you will be here. So once you reach here, what you should remember here, once you reach here, you are forgetting your past here. You did not have to store the other paths. For example, there might be a case, rather than this path you have selected, this is better. Because there might be a case that this is going somewhere again back, something like this. So this would have been even better, something like that. But we forget, once we select this, we forget this past. Once I reach here, I forget what I had earlier. Okay, same thing we do in hill climbing. What we do in climbing hill, that's why the name is given. Suppose this is a hill. Okay, and suppose your job is to climb this hill. How generally we do that in real life? We start with some starting point. Suppose you are here. You are going to move around. You will look around and you will find out the better path. Better means easier to climb. Easier to climb means if it is not steep one. For example, if you have two options, this is one of the option and another option is this. Which one is better? This is suppose option A and this is option B. And your job is to reach to the top. Which one is better?
A option.
Option A. Why? Because easier to climb, na? Less steep, easier to climb. Correct. Okay, so that's how generally we do. So naturally you are going to follow the better path and ultimately you are going to reach to the top. But suppose you reach to this place. Now what will happen? This is not easy to climb, right? You consider this, this is not according to the scale. Suppose this is according to the scale. I draw U. Suppose you are here and then you are here. Now think of situation like this. Now once you reach here, is this easy to climb this part?
No.
No, sir.
No, because that is difficult to climb. Okay, but what we do in when we climb hill, once you reach here, you will be able to see around more. Your visual scope will be more, and later on, if you come to know that rather than this particular path, if you would have uh, climbed that hill by some other path, for example, some other path through this is better than that. You visualize this as a three-dimensional figure. Suppose once you reach here, you could see other part of the hill, and that is even better than this part. Huh? You could see that this is better to climb. So if you would have taken this path, that would have reached to the hill faster. But do we go back down and again climb through this path? We don't do that in reality. Okay, so we forget what path we have taken earlier. That is what hill climbing is. So what we are going to do, once I reach here, although there is some other better path, I have to take this path only. And whatever options are available at this point, I have to select better one. That is what hill climbing search algorithm is. Okay, that's what we do. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So in other words, same thing, we can put it in algorithmic form. Suppose we have to write a program, so what we will do, we will start with first step, evaluate the initial state, stop, return success if it's a goal state, otherwise make that initial state as a current state. That is the first step in hill climbing search algorithm. And then uh, you repeat this A and B until solution is reached and or no other operators are left. Now what we have to repeat? You have to select a new operator. Operator means what? Any other name that we use for operator? Operator means? Pardon? On current state you apply operator. Algorithm in algorithm we are saying operator. What is meaning of operator? शिंदे, दिशा शिंदे. दिशा. गोपाल. गोपाल मस्के. शिनकर शिवानी. शिवानी शिनकर. सांगा लवकर. स्वाती. पंडित स्वाती. यशस्वी महाजन. What are operators? What is meaning of operator? Yashasri. Jangir Anand.
Yes, sir.
What is meaning of operator out here? We are saying that select new operator. You are starting with current state, initial state. For example, S0 is the initial state.
Rule, sir.
Correct. कोणी सांगितलं?
Apurva Mahajan.
Purva. Correct. Operator means rule. In some books you will find out when they say operator, that means rule, because ultimately rule can be in the form of operator. When you are going to write a program, okay. So operator, select a new operator. Suppose S0 is your starting state. So from S0, if it's not a goal state, then you are going to loop until what? No new operators are left, or you reach to the solution or
Correct.
goal. So if S0 is not a goal, S0 is not a goal, or there are operators, since this is the starting state, what we are going to do? We are going to select a rule. We will apply that rule, apply that to the current, producing a new state. Suppose one rule you have applied and that has produced S1. Okay, rule number 1 you have used and that has generated state S1. So what algorithm says? Apply that to the current, producing a new state. So we have generated S1 state. Now evaluate new state. How to do that? If it's a goal state, return stop and return success. So if S1 is a goal, return that as a goal and return the solution path S0 S1. Otherwise, if it is better than current state, make it the current state and proceed. Now S0 you know. So cost associated with S0 is first 13, and cost associated with S1 is suppose 10. So S1, is it better than S0?
Yes, sir.
Yes, correct. So because this S1 cost is 10, S0 cost was 13. So what algorithm says? If it is better than current state, make it current state and proceed. So your current state is now S1 and
Yes,
proceed
sir.
further. And proceed further. Otherwise, now second possibility is there. If it is not better than current state, even if it is not better than current state, continue until solution is reached. What we have to repeat? You have to find out another rule which can be applied on this S0 that will generate another state. For example, consider the same similar situation. Now instead of 10, suppose this cost happened to be 14. So your current state is S0 only. Okay. So in that case, you apply another rule on this S0 that will generate S2. Find out cost with S2, and cost with state S2 is suppose 9. So this is better than S0.
Yes,
So what algorithm will do? Algorithm will repeat until solution is reached. So algorithm will make this S2 as a current state. So S2 is current state now. It will explore this S2. Suppose that has generated state S6 along with a cost, suppose 5. So 5 is better than this 9. So current state will be S6.
yes.
Okay. You are going to move further. Suppose you have reached to node G, which is a goal. So you have reached to the solution. So your solution path is S0, S2, S6 and G.
G.
Now consider the variation of the situation. Now we have considered. There might be a case, there is some other rule from S0 which is better than this. For example, if you apply that rule that had generated state S3 whose cost is 5. So S3 is better, but algorithm doesn't consider that. You just compare this state with the current state. If it is better, then it moves further. That's what we have done in hill climbing. In hill climbing, we find out the better one than the previous one and we move further. Okay. Along with this, we are going to move. There might be a case some other path is better than this, but we only see the current options available and we move further until we reach to the goal. Okay. But algorithm also says this step until solution is reached or no new operators are left. So there might be a situation something like this. You may not reach to the goal even. For example, this is something like this and this is missing out there. This part is not there. Okay. And suppose your hill is something like this. And here that it's missing. This is missing. Connection is missing out here. Something like this. So what will happen in such a situation? Yes. You will not be able to reach to the top. Yes or no? You will reach here. Okay, and you will have to go down. So your objective is to the reach to the top of the hill. You will not be able to reach to the top. So that is what, until no new operators are left, sometimes there might be a situation you will not be able to reach to the goal. So again I am repeating, hill climbing search algorithm starts with the initial state, current state, selects the options available, one of the option available, first option, first operator is selected which can be applied, that will generate the new state. So if you are at S0, select first any operator, first operator that will generate S1. Check whether this S1 is better than S0. If yes, again repeat this. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So from S1, you are going to find out another rule that will generate a new state. Suppose S7. If it is better than S1, move further until you reach to the goal. Okay. If that is not the case, if S7 is not better than S1, another rule is selected, that is applied, that has generated suppose S6. If S6 is better than S1, so move further away from S6 until you reach to the goal node G. That is what hill climbing search is. Understood? Functioning of this algorithm?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Simple algorithm, but very useful algorithm. Some of the problems where search space is very large, so you have to use optimization. In such a situation, this algorithm can be used, but as we have seen that it may not reach to the goal even. You might miss the path going to the goal by this strategy. So there are some problems associated with this hill climbing search. Okay. So we are running out of time. We will continue further in the next class. If you have any doubts, we can discuss that before starting our next lecture. Thank you.
Okay, sir.